Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds so good.
Now, you've done other podcasts in the past, but you said this one's amongst your favorites.
Yeah, it's my favorite so far. Not dogging the rest of them, but the setup is very nice.
Well, I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy to see your level of success. You, quite frankly, I don't think I've ever told you this, but like you were always literally one of my favorite people in high school.
Oh, really?
You had a way about you, vibe-wise, that was just so fun to be around. You were chill. You were happy. I think that was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
It seemed like you were always happy. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm excited to selfishly share your story with everyone now that we've been able to reconnect after what we've just realized is basically like 8 or 9 years.
I know, it's crazy.
Wild.
Getting old.
I know. So, to start it out, who is Jada Taylor?
Oh boy. It's a loaded question.
That it is.
Who am I? I'm very bubbly. Mm-hmm. I like to, experience new things, like travel, work with different people. I like to, who am I? Man, I love to watch really trashy reality TV.
Really?
Yeah, that's something that relaxes me. And it does define me, like Bravo, like all the Real Housewives. Yeah. It's a culture for me. But yeah, who am I? I'm bubbly. I like to try new things. I'm creative.
And your business, what is it?
It's called Mix. Yeah. So I guess that's a part of who I am. Yeah. So I'm biracial, and I always was taught from a young age, who I am. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I always carried that with me, like self-confidence, and I never really questioned myself. Yeah. And so I started Mixed because, I make whatever I want. Yeah. It's not really to be defined in a category. It's a place for everyone, and just to be fun and beautiful and cool. And yeah, I think that's who I am too. The brand is me.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about how this social media culture has been able to shape the ability for us to create brands. Because you weren't really able to do that in the past in the way that we can do it now.
That's true. Yeah, because I feel like now a lot of people have brands because of COVID. Mm-hmm. Everyone was like, I'm going to start my own business. Yes. I was doing it before that, so now it's just kind of too much with everyone. But, I'm really about it.
Yes, literally.
I work on it. There's not a day I don't do something for it. Yeah. Even when I work films, which is my main job, I'm still doing Mixed. Yeah. Because that's my true passion, really.
Okay. Wait, so tell me about that, because I know nothing about that side of it.
Okay, so I work on films. I have been interning on films since high school. In high school, I won Most Likely to Be Famous.
Oh, true. I literally voted for that.
Yeah, so, I won that. Yeah. And, I went to fashion design school. Mm-hmm. I wanted just a quick, 2-year degree to just get the ball rolling and just go straight to movies. Yeah. I was the youngest in the union at the time. Yeah. But, every film in Cleveland I've worked on. And then this past year, I've started going out of town, which is a whole another... I hate to say ball game, but it is.
Oh, 100%.
But I work in the costume department.
Okay.
I can do tailoring because I could sew like crazy. But lately I've been doing truck, which I really like. So there's all the principal, celebrities' clothes are on the truck. Okay. I have to get it ready for the scenes. I put it in their trailers. Oh. And then I'm there, when they go to set, if they need anything extra, I bring it to them. I work closely with the designers, which I like. Mm-hmm. And, I send things up to set. I kind of have my own space. And I don't have to go to set, which I like because set's really intense.
Is it?
And you have to really, focus all the time. Yeah. And truck, I kind of make my own schedule and, work on my own terms. And it's a cool position because I'm kind of the medium boss because I have to tell the other costumers what the designer wants, what they should be wearing, and I'm supposed to be the guidebook of the clothes.
And I'm sure that those designers appreciate having you being in that role with all of the designing that you have to do for Mixed itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because sometimes they're like, do you think they should be wearing like that color jeans with this? I'm like, no.
Yes.
I'm like, no, I think maybe like this. Or they're like, well, if someone's like coming home, like would they have a jacket or would they take it off? Like all those little things we think about, you know, just trying to make stuff more natural for when you watch it. But yeah, I love when they ask me design questions.
Right.
And sometimes if I feel like the clothes I made are going to like work in a scene, I'll like have them in my car every day until, you know, they'll look at them and put it in there.
Yes. And it's funny because don't follow me around to see like what I do, because I feel like I do stuff that like no one else does. You know, even, I mean, I don't know, maybe not. You know, maybe people are doing what I'm doing, but it's just like I don't like wearing coats in the car.
Yeah, no.
I don't like wearing coats. I don't like wearing jackets. So even when it's cold outside, I'll like take it off and literally hop in my car with like a t-shirt in the winter.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, because that would be like your character.
Yes.
Like, so we try to like normalize characters in a film like that or in a show. So it's just not so like, you know, fake.
Yes.
Like, would you have like a blazer and another coat on in a car? Not really.
No.
But yeah, just all those little details and stuff like that matter.
Yeah.
And then like continuity, which is what I'm in charge of, is just like making sure like in the scenes, it's the same clothes. Because we shoot stuff all out of order. So you really have to keep track.
Yeah.
And that's why people ask me questions all the time, and I get to, you know, be bossy and tell them. But it's good vibes in there. People love the truck. Like, usually I have to take over someone else doing truck. That's what I did on my last job.
Right.
And once I took over, the whole vibe changed in there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
Because I'm just like, take that somewhere else. I don't need all this chaos. It doesn't help the situation.
So you don't like being on the set with the chaos, but you enjoy watching the chaos with all of these trashy reality TV shows.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. The Housewives are amazing. And, like, all those dating shows.
Yes.
Like Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
Love is Blind.
Yes.
I love it.
Gosh. So are you primarily watching those shows that are on Netflix? Because that's where a majority of them are pumped out. Isn't that right?
No.
Really? Where you find yourself?
I watch Bravo.
Oh, true.
And, well, now Peacock has all the Bravo shows on there.
Really?
Peacock is a great streaming service.
Interesting. I never transitioned. I would have thought that The Office would have been something that had me transition over, but I just never did.
They have a lot of good movies. I just watched Megan, too.
I've heard that that's a really good one.
It was good.
Yeah.
I was like laughing. It was like, it's like an old school kind of, I was like, dang, I wish I could have worked on that. That would have been fun.
So how did you even wind up getting into a position of doing that stuff? I know you said in high school that you were, you know, starting to internship at some, but like, how did you continue with that passion of yours?
Like the passion of film?
Yeah.
Well, like we're in a film union. So, you know, when a film comes to Cleveland, they like hire people from the union.
Yeah.
So basically I've just been doing it for like officially for like maybe 6 years now.
Yeah.
And, you know, just growing each time. And what's, you know, makes me more marketable is I can, you know, sew, you know, which a lot of customers don't know how to do, which is why I went to school to sew. And just like meeting a bunch of people. And you're always hoping that like one person you come across is going to be like, come with me. Yes. I have a show in LA. Like, I need you to come out. And so that happened to me because I did, there was a LeBron job here.
Oh, really?
This time last year, actually. I started around St. Patrick's Day all the way to the summer, and that was rough.
Really?
That was rough.
Like, how so? What does that mean?
It was rough.
Set the stage.
It's a stage to set, I'm going to tell you. It was just the dynamics, like the chaos. The designer I was working with was really horrible, like really just not cool. And a lot of them can be like that. So you have to be careful. Sometimes they could be amazing. Other times they're literally monsters.
Yeah. I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah. Just every day she was just like coming at me.
Yeah.
She had a problem with me. And like I'm like, okay. So like every day I'm showing to work, she just come and just give me a really hard time, like really hard.
Yeah.
And, you know, tried complaining and everything to producers.
Yeah.
Other people were getting bullied at this point, but they did nothing about it.
And you're just like, good vibes, Jada over here. Like, hey, chill out.
So I just straight up just avoided her towards the end. But anyways, I met my supervisor, who I call my boss. And, once the show was over, oh man, I was traumatized. And but I had a goal to get my car. I wanted to get a brand new car.
Yes.
So I was like, I'm not going to quit. Because each time I start a job, I like to set goals. Because it's hard. We work 14 hours a day. And it's just really intense. So I like to set goals. Because sometimes it just gets too nuts and you're just like, what am I doing here? But I was like, I want to get my car. So I just got my Bronco.
Oh, no way. What color?
It's cactus gray.
Really?
It's the Badlands, so it's the bigger one.
Yes, 100%.
But it's the sport one. So it's not like the big off-roading one, but so I got that car.
Congratulations. How long were you on the wait list for?
I got it right off the boat.
Good.
Literally.
I've heard some people were waiting a significant amount of time.
Yeah. I was lucky.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
I was real lucky.
Now, how much within the film industry did you take that inspired you to do what you're doing with Mixed?
I think film helps me out a lot. In terms of organization and setups and things like that. That's why I said this is really impressive.
Oh, thanks.
You're checking frames and all this stuff, and but just I learned a bunch of things, and it's really fast paced. So I feel with my brand, I incorporate the same thing.
Yes.
New collections coming out. We set a timeline. I do it and do the shoot and everything. I know how to launch it, and I don't know.
And it's such a good point that you brought up about those multiple things that you do, because when you start a business, you are not only doing the primary purpose of what that business is accomplishing. You're putting on so many additional hats.
That's true.
So I was speaking to a gentleman the other day by the name of Larry, and he was questioning what it is that allowed you to not fall victim to imposter syndrome and understand that what it is that you're doing is every bit of the path that needs to be taken to get to where you want to be.
I keep seeing people posting about imposter syndrome, and I don't understand. What is it? Does that mean when you're pretending to be something, but you're not?
I think it's the idea that you think to yourself that you shouldn't or are not the one capable of doing it. But then at the same time, it's well, are you not doing it? You know what I mean?
I guess I could see that for some people, posers, right? That's what I keep thinking of.
Yes.
Influencers, because when they'll hire some influencers for movies and stuff, and you meet them in real life and you're like, whoa. First of all, you don't look like your page.
Yes.
And they're just so they have no idea really what they're doing. But online they'll post oh, I was on set and I did, I really killed it, when in reality you didn't. So is that imposter syndrome?
I think that's in some which ways more self-awareness of the people who are literally watching them being how are you in the position that you are, because you definitely should not be.
Yeah. Those TikTok people. So man.
Oh, wild. I think what it boils down to is, how did you develop the confidence within yourself to do what you're doing?
Oh.
That's a better way of saying, how did you not fall victim to imposter syndrome?
I don't know. I think, just from my childhood, really, I always had confidence, whenever I questioned myself, my parents were no, you could do this or whatever. And then in high school, I knew I really liked clothes, and I was how can I make money from this?
Yes.
And I don't know. I've always just had this kind of just boss energy about me.
Absolutely. That's what I started it out with. You're 100% right.
So I don't know. I just always keep going. I just like set goals. And I never, like, sometimes I do like question what I'm doing, like especially with films, because it can be a lot. But then I like take a step back, like, okay, I'm in this brand new city. I'm working with new people. You know, Nicole Kidman's right there. I need to calm down and be like, okay, this is cool. And, you know, it's all going to be fine. Because, you know, work is work.
Yes.
You know, you're not going to love every second of it.
Correct.
But also, I'm not worried about it. Like, if Mix, you know, for some reason I just didn't want to do it anymore, I know I could sew anything. I could write about it. I can, you know, I'm not worried about myself, I guess.
Yes. Well, and two things that I took from that. One was the support that you have. That is a theme amongst every single person who I've talked to. And it's so nice to hear the support that your family has given you, because those are the people who are closest to you, and those are going to be the people that you reach out to, and they're going to be the ones that are going to offer you the sheer amount of support that in some which ways, me included, that we need to survive. I couldn't imagine doing life without my parents.
Yeah, same. My parents are like fully involved in Mixed.
Yes.
My mom is like, basically I feel like we run it together. Because we'll sit down every month. I'll be like, okay, so for March, you know, it's going to be, maybe we should like post this stuff. Maybe we should drop this. And she'll be like, okay, well, what about that top? And I'm like, oh, that would be good. We could shoot it with so-and-so. And she's like, yeah. So we like, you know, streamline it that way. My dad helps with some travel stuff.
Is that right?
Like I was in like Texas recently for like almost 2 months doing a fashion show and like working with a bunch of different people down there. And I wanted to drive. And my dad was like, no, you need to fly. I'm like, but I don't want to get a rental car. And he's like, you know what? It's going to be fine. So, like, he helps. I call him the investor sometimes. Because, you know, I like to do things one way. He likes to do it another way. But
so were they initially people who were, like, encouraging you to start this? Really?
My mom was like, you need to start this. Because in school, like, I was given, like, a really hard time. Like, my design teacher, like, hated everything I did. And
meanwhile, you've made it, like, further past any point that 99% of the people who've gone through some bit of a fashion program.
Well, that's true, because a lot of people I was in school with, they're doing, you know, somewhat, like, some tailoring in certain places, but... You know, I would say I'm the only one with like a brand and with like a customer base that I literally built myself, which is crazy. But, and then my grandparents help. My aunt helps a lot, who I was in Texas with, because I was like going back and forth between like Austin and San Antonio. Which is like 2 hours, and I want to stay in like San Antonio. So I got this Airbnb. I've never gotten one before. Like I'm a hotel person. But I was like, let me try it.
Let me do it.
And it was like a casita in the back of like this mansion place. But something about it, I pulled up and I'm like, is this Get Out? Like it just felt like really eerie. And I was like, whatever, you know, like toughen up is cool. And no, I could not stay there.
Interesting.
It was like freaking me out. So I lasted like 4 days, and I like called my aunt. I'm like,
really?
I'm like, I need to come back. I'm gonna move all my shoots. Like to this week, so I can come back and just stay. But I tried.
So you said Get Out.
Yeah, it was really eerie.
And do you want to know what I watched the other day?
What?
Nope.
I watched. Wait, is Nope the one
It's
the country one?
Jordan Peele's third one.
Yeah, I watched that too.
What do you think about it?
I liked the clothes. Yeah, like I thought the one dude that owned the Western town, I loved his outfits. I thought they were really cool.
Interesting.
But I thought everything they wore was nice. But the story, no. With the monkey thing, that was really, I could still see that in my mind.
I know.
I think Megan was better.
I'm going to have to watch that. I'm going to have to watch it. What did you say? It's literally on Peacock?
It's on Peacock, yeah.
Okay, I'll have to watch that because I just got back from a flight, and United has their free movies. So I watched that. Nope. And someone said that they watched it and they didn't like it. But, like, I don't know if it was because I have seen the other, or I don't know if it's because people told me that they didn't like it that made me be like, I wondered what it is that they're thinking. And maybe part of me wanted to go against the grain, but I loved it.
You did?
I loved it.
So what did you love about it?
I think part of it's, I like the main actor.
I love him.
Yes.
I worked with him.
No way.
Yeah. And he's really cool.
Is he? That is so nice to hear.
Yeah. I actually went to one of his like private screenings for one of his movies, Queen and Slim, and it was a really, like, that's a really good movie, but it's really sad.
Really?
And, you know, it was hard, like, trying not to cry because he's right behind me. But, man, that was intense.
Yeah.
But he's amazing. He's super cool.
So, he was also in the Mr. Bean movies.
Mr. Bean? What's that?
You don't know Mr. Bean? Mr. Bean is... They are like Johnny English. Have you seen Johnny English?
Yeah. Those like silly ones.
Yes.
He was.
Oh my goodness! I am gonna literally open your eyes to an entirely brand new side of him.
That's so crazy.
I'll text it to you because literally, it is the goofiest movie, and he plays like the assistant agent to the goofiest agent out there. I'm surprised that you haven't seen that. You are literally
Mr. Bean, though?
Yes. Because it was Johnny English. Johnny English is technically the movie, but like Roman something is the guy who like also does all of the Mr. Beans. But you said you don't know Mr. Bean?
I do. He's like that goofy looking guy, right?
Yes. Okay, yeah. Literally does. You're going to die. It's literally ridiculous.
Really?
Yes. Oh.
Wait, so what shows are you watching right now?
The Last of Us.
Yes.
I love that show.
Love that show.
It's amazing. And what's interesting about that is you watch movies in a different way.
Yeah.
Like you literally, I said, oh, did you watch this? You're like, oh, well, I like the outfits. So it's interesting to see how your whole world is shaped.
Yeah. And I like to catch mistakes.
Oh.
I do.
And are more of those like continuity mistakes?
Yeah.
Can you give us an example?
I was watching this show on Netflix. Well, Netflix is very sloppy.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
And like their originals?
It was like one of their shows, Ginny and Georgia, which is about like a mixed girl and her white mom, which is my life, but it's a very like, I don't like the story. I feel like it sends the wrong message. But
yeah.
One girl came in and her shirt was like not tucked, like flushed, even though a minute ago it was, but it was all like messed up in the back. She must have used the bathroom or something in between. Yeah. And then you cut to the next scene, and the shirt's all fixed now. So, you know, it's kind of a problem.
One of the biggest mistakes that I found in a movie without having to look it up, but literally saw myself, was with Mark Wahlberg, Ted.
Oh, I haven't seen that in a long time.
He was literally holding the iPhone upside down. And this was back when the sleep button was at the top of the phone. So part of me was just like, how does that even happen?
That's one of our fears. Like when we mess something up, we're just hoping no one catches that later. But
but it's probably so obvious to the people such as yourself that are putting it together. And not that it's like anyone's fault in a bad way, but like
sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is. You're like, oh,
sometimes it's like, oops.
Oh, shoot.
Sometimes like I told the customer he's supposed to be wearing this hat, and then you didn't put it on him. You know, then it just goes. Yeah. You're just hoping a producer, because they watch it all the time, they're there, that they don't say, where is this hat? Or sometimes they catch things.
Yes.
And you don't ever have that conversation.
Interesting. So you and all of these people who are producing it are essentially creating this piece of art when and while they're not even paying attention to the same things that the people who are watching it are paying attention to. And that's the luxury of being a viewer rather than the team that's putting it together. So that amazes me.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes when things get to it like intense, you know, I like to take a step back and I'm like, are we brain surgeons right now, or is this just for someone to watch at home?
Yes.
After they get off work.
Right.
Like, not that what we do is not important. Like, it brings entertainment, it brings, joy to people, but sometimes it doesn't have to be so crazy.
Right. You almost think that if you were not to like cut corners, but not be as serious with every little detail, how much potentially more could get done, or focus on maybe other things that would add better viewing experience?
I just think they need to do, like, one time this actress was like tripping completely, and the designer's like, come with me, we have to talk to her, we'll give her some stuff. So I said, okay. And so she's like, just don't add anything to the situation. I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything. But I was like, okay, sure, whatever. So we went in there, and the girl was like going off, and I was just like, just standing there, and I'm like, well, do you need something? And she was like, oh, I'm good. And then we left, and the designer was like, oh my God, you were so calm in there. She's like, and it calmed me. Really? I was like, yeah, because I've been around intense situations. People are just losing it.
Yes.
And, before it used to really upset me, and now it's just like, I'm like, okay, let's just get to the point here.
Yes.
Like, how can we make this better? I don't know.
I think that's the hard part for me is giving direction in a way that is like going to be best received.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that you were able to do exactly that, but it's something that you've learned.
Yeah. And people, like, I'm always underestimated all the time, because when I first come in, they were like, this is Jada. I'm like, hi. Yes. And they're just like, she's too young. Like, they never think I know what I'm doing, and it takes a little bit.
Yes.
And then eventually they're like, wow, you're great. But at first, I'm getting it. Yes. Because no one knows what I'm capable of, which is great. I love to prove people wrong all the time. Right. I don't know, maybe when I get older, they'll actually look at me and be like, okay, you know what you're doing. But as of right now, no.
Yeah. It can almost be thought to be an advantage.
Yeah.
Because, if you think about it, you've got these TikTok people who come in, and you have this idea that they may be in whatever way that they are, or how they are because of who we think that they are. And then all of a sudden, they don't live up to the hype, or they're just like, not what they should be, or, all these other things. But meanwhile, and, I come across the same thing, because, it's like we're young, but like we are more than capable.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, it's just like the idea of maybe someone looking at, me and having a bar not so high, and then for me to like be like, no, I'm Jacob fucking Carter. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and get this stuff done. And then all of a sudden, that bar that they put low, I'm stepping over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, isn't that nice?
So nice.
And then they're just like, wow, you're amazing. It's like, yeah, you should have known that in the first place, but it's okay. Right. Everyone learns. It's
just a little bit of delayed gratification, which isn't a bad thing.
Sometimes, in some cases, it never comes from me, because they're just like a jerk. But they know it deep down.
Exactly. Hard work takes time to have a goal turn into a overall accomplishment. Okay. And because of that, you have to start small and build your way up.
Yeah.
And I want to know, when you started, who did you turn to set forth the footsteps that eventually turned into you running to get your business to where it is now?
My mom.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, it was my mom. Yeah. Because we just like set steps, literally, because you can't just get to that big goal at the end.
Correct.
So we just broke it down in years, like, okay, we're going to promote, see if anyone likes it. Then we're going to sell, then start bringing it into person, pop-ups. Yeah. And then I wanted to travel, which I've been doing, because every time I'm out of town, like, I shoot. Like, if I'm on vacation, like, I book a photographer, get locals there. Yeah. And, like, expands that way. Because the internet only does so much, and I'm trying to pay, like, all this money on ads and stuff. So I'd rather just shoot in different cities and, just work with different people. And then just grows from there.
You can't only focus on one thing to grow your business. you got the ads, and then you've got like the, maybe pop-up stuff that you're doing, or just like what you're pushing out content-wise yourself.
Yeah.
But if you were to say what's been the most impactful way for your business to grow based on getting like new eyes, new people?
Probably just like travel.
Yeah.
And me doing like fashion shows seems to bring like a lot of traffic.
Really?
So the show I just did in Texas, it was Texas Fashion Week, and my collection was called Dream, and it was like sleepy streetwear. It was really cool. It was probably the best
Really?
I've ever done. The hair and makeup was perfect.
Yeah.
They like took me seriously and like listened to me.
Yeah.
Because I always have to go back and forth with that little stuff.
Yes.
But
yes.
I think fashion shows, like I got a lot of growth from that, and just traveling and meeting different people.
Yeah.
I'm always posting. I have a social media person. I think that made a huge difference.
Oh, really?
So like last year I got one, and so I would just shoot a lot, and then she would put it all together.
Nice.
How I should post when, and it just made everything easier that way. So once she cleaned up my page, because I was just kind of posting whatever.
Yes.
It wasn't bad, but
Right.
it wasn't, I don't think it was clear.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to look really good.
Yeah.
And she cleaned it up. And I think video content helps
Yeah.
a lot, because I did a huge video, but it was like way before the time
Yes.
that videos.
Yes.
But I want to do another one.
You started well before a lot of other people doing the same thing that you're doing now. And you are going to continue to, I'll be honest with you, I think that you're always going to be doing better than most people. You just have that way about you. You've got that drive.
Opinion.
You've got that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll say it louder, But, it's like with that, with you doing well, and with you continuing to move forward within your career path, what's next?
What's next? Well, what's next is like I would like to do, this is, top secret. I have not announced this.
Oh, exclusive.
This is a mix exclusive.
Nice.
But no, like this summer I want to do like I want to get like a space and actually have mixed for like maybe a month.
Yeah.
And have it actually like create our store experience.
Yeah.
And see what, how people will receive it if we're actually in store. But I want it to be like a pop-up, because brick and mortars, you don't want to be locked in for a year.
Yeah.
I think we would kill a year, but I wouldn't want that, because
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to leave and do whatever I do.
Yeah.
But we're going to do that next.
Where?
It's going to be here.
In Cleveland?
It's, will be cheaper here.
Yes, literally.
To do a soft launch.
Yeah.
And majority of my customers are still here. So, yeah, just in the summer, I would like to do that. I have some interns from Kent State. They're going to be starting.
No way.
So that's exciting, too.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to go to Nashville. I'm going to go to this trunk show. And that's going to, like, help with the store launch.
Yeah.
Because all these different brands are going to be there. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah. How do you become aware of these things that are going on? Do you get invited? Or are they just like advertised?
My mom doing research.
Damn, this woman is amazing.
And she's just like, oh, we should do this and we should do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm always like, I tell her what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm impatient, so
Yeah.
I'm just like, I want to, why are we not this or why are we not that? She's like, okay,
Yeah.
we'll just break it down.
Yeah.
But I think that's the next step. It feels right. I don't think a year ago I would have been like, okay, I think we could have a store.
Yeah.
But now I think we can.
So she's like, she's a full blown like momager.
Yeah. No, she is. She's literally a business partner.
That is amazing.
Literally. My dad is too. And my grandma and my aunt. They all, they're all like my partners.
Yeah. And like I said, you need that support.
Yeah, because sometimes it is hard, You're just like, okay, what am I doing? And then they're just like, you got this.
Yeah. Did you have to put the internship opportunity on Handshake to get those interns at Kent State?
No, just from my Instagram.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Instagram is a beautiful thing.
Isn't it?
Because all these people reach you, and once you start, like, doing stuff in other cities, people don't know where I'm based, because I took Cleveland out because I, travel so much. Yeah. And I think people sometimes see Ohio and are like, okay. Like every time, this cracks me up. Every time I'm out of town working, like a person will be like, where are you from? Are you from New York? And I'm like, oh, you think I'm from New York? Yeah. But I'm like, no, I'm from Cleveland. And every time people are like, Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just a shocking thing in the world.
Yeah. I will say, though, Cleveland is far different from just about anywhere else in Ohio. Mm-hmm. Far, far different.
Yeah, they're just like, what's there to do there? I'm like, there's things to do, all right?
Absolutely.
We're the underdogs, baby.
100%. 100%. I had a photographer from Cleveland on to record the last episode. He's
Who?
like, Colin Stevens. He was a really cool guy. Mm-hmm. And it's just same thing, you know? He has the support of his parents. You know, it's like I've got the support of my parents. And then the professionals that I've had on who have been in the industry that they've been for the last like 35 years, you know, like specifically like the dentist, like he supports his children, you know, and that is where this idea of community is important. Yeah. And why, if you don't have the ability or you're not fortunate enough to have the support that like we do, that's why it's important to join a community that's going to give you the support.
Yeah, you need a good support foundation, and because other people try to get it, you know, but they don't really get it.
Correct.
Like, I don't know.
And it's hard to talk to someone about something that like they're not going through in the same way that you are. Yeah. Because it's like they'll be like, you know, oh, I get it. It's like, no, you don't.
It's like, no, you really don't. Like at first, this is about, well, when I date people, at first they're like, yeah, I get it. This is cool. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be busy. Yeah. You know, but I still make time for people. But, you know, then it's like, oh, you know, I don't get it. Mm-hmm. Yes, literally. Your schedule is busy. Like, I mean, people are busy, but I don't think busy people who say they're busy are really busy. You know what I'm saying? A busy person just is.
Yes. People make time for the ones that they want to. Yeah. And I was listening to this one podcast and it was like, if you just like don't know why they're being that way, or like if you don't know why, then that's your point of like knowing. Mm-hmm. If you're confused, there's a reason. It means they're not into you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, at first they're like, oh, this is so cool, you know, and I feel like, do you just want to talk to me because of all these things? Yeah. And also, you know, my life it's not normal. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not like by the book. And sometimes people are like that, which is cool. Some people are meant to be like that. Yeah. But I'm not one of those people.
Right. Would you say that you're routine oriented?
Yeah, I have to have one. Okay. But sometimes it's hard for me to focus because I'm a creative person. Yes. So that's why I, like, at the top of every week, I have to make a list and make a schedule, because I'll go off the rails with, like, oh, maybe I'll, like, make this post real quick. And then, you know, oh, wait, I'm supposed to get this dress done. I'm supposed to get this order out. Yeah. So I have to make myself a list.
Tell me how someone creates a list of things to do for someone that's always on the run.
I don't know. You just get used to it. I just been doing this now, I feel like, for so long. Yeah. At this point. Yeah. I don't know. You know the things you got to get done. And but I feel like where other brands and stuff get in trouble, and like other designers locally, they, you know, it's hard to make a piece of clothing. It's not easy. I feel like, you know, maybe they'll put out one dress for the year and they're like, all right, I did it. And that's it. Like, you have to keep the ball rolling. Yeah. You have to keep people interested. Or, I mean, if you don't keep them interested, and if you're not interested, then who else would be, you know?
Exactly. But that is why you are so successful, because you have a passion and you have the support to keep you going. So, and we've got this exclusive with you having a pop-up shop coming up here soon at some point.
It's going to be the Mixed Barn.
Oh, location TBD.
Yeah, TBD for real. That's what that's what me and my mom are working on right now.
Is that right?
Yeah, so we're checking out spaces this weekend. I just want a little pop-up space. Yeah. You know, I'm not trying to be locked in.
Yeah. You know who does pop-up space? There's Contrast High. Have you heard of them before?
Kind of. I think so.
Okay. I don't know. I went to a pop-up event that they hosted at their space, and, you know, they have like a temporary residency type thing.
Oh, yeah. Send that to me.
I will. I'll shoot that over to you. And then Do you know the girl who does like Only Daughter Society?
Oh, yeah. They asked me to do a pop-up or something.
Oh, nuh-uh. She's the one who like always puts on the pop-up shops, and they're super fun.
Oh, yeah. So we follow each other. So that's why that sounded familiar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So literally she would also be another good person to reach out to, because she'd be well connected enough to give you more of an idea as to who you may be able to talk to find what you're looking for.
Okay. I'll add that to my list.
Yeah. So there's the list. There's the list.
I got a list, yeah. But the mixed barn is going to be dope. It's
Yes.
going to be cool.
What ideas do you have cooking so far for it? Like, I can't get into all that.
It's just going to be, I don't know, like, I like graffiti stuff.
Yes.
Well, Mix always has, like, Western stuff, you know? Like, I have sequence chaps, which is, like, my best sellers.
Really?
Yeah, they're cool.
What is that, though? Because I don't know.
You know chaps?
Paint the picture for the people who just listen but don't watch.
Okay, well, chaps, you know, are for, you know, you watch Yellowstone?
No.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I watch everything. But, you know, chaps came so cowboys didn't ruin their jeans and stuff when they're being a cowboy.
Oh, okay.
So when they're riding or, like, when they're in the ranch, you know,
Yeah.
you put chaps on.
Okay.
And then recently, like, girls are wearing chaps, like, you know, poolside stuff because it's cut out.
Okay.
It's just on the outside,
Okay.
kind of, and it's, like, little cut out in the middle.
I gotta look at what these chaps are.
Wait, I gotta show you my chaps.
All right. True. Pull them out.
Don't look up a basic chap.
True. You're like, that's not what it's about.
I should have brought my iPad. But yeah, no, chaps, they're just cut out in the middle. They're on the outside.
Okay.
And then, like, it's a belt.
Huh.
And girls wear them, like, by the pool, or they wear it.
Yeah.
This one girl who bought it, she wore it at a concert. People mostly wear my stuff at, like, festivals and concerts and stuff.
Yeah. Like, kind of like also rave stuff.
Yeah, like, those are chaps.
Oh, very nice. Okay, that's what I thought that it was, but I also didn't want to, like...
See, look how nice they are. So nice. That was at the Texas show.
Yeah, that's literally someone wearing your stuff going down a runway.
Yeah.
How long did it take for something like that to happen versus when you started? Like, when was your first runway show?
Oh, I think it was, like, shortly after I started, like, maybe within the year.
Damn.
I did 2 in Detroit.
Okay.
And then I did one here in Cleveland 2 years ago or whatever. But that was really intense because I was working on a Netflix film.
Oh, okay.
Which just came out, White Noise. I don't know, Adam Driver.
White Noise. I feel like I've heard people talking about that, no?
Yeah.
Did it pick up some steam?
People are talking about it more because, well, it's about an explosion. And we shot it here in Ohio.
That's right.
So people are, like, DMing me all the time, like, did you work on it? I'm like, there's no conspiracy theory here. Okay. It's literally a book. But that movie was really hard because people were mean. Like, you couldn't look at Adam Driver in his eyes or, like, you'd be fired.
Really? Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Him and the director, too. So, not a fan. But that was hard because it was really intense. We had to lock up our phones when you went to set. Like, they had a lockbox. And, yeah, so it was really hard.
Yeah.
Because they just shot on film and no monitors. He didn't want anyone to look. You just sit there, literally. Because he didn't like people to come in and make corrections. Oh. But anyways, I was doing a fast show at the same time. I was designing stuff, and it was just really hard.
Yeah. So is in regards to the things that were and weren't there, were allowed to be there and weren't, like, is it that serious?
That's what I'm saying. That's why sometimes I'm like,
right, yes.
you know, what are we doing?
Yes.
Why are you treating people like they're not people?
Yeah.
You know, it just gets to be too much like that. But, you know, what can you do?
Literally.
I do think the culture should change.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, more people, you know, our age go into the industry. And I think it will change over time, you know, because when people, you know, cuss you out, you know, our generation's like, you can't say that to me.
Right.
You can't say that to me.
Yes.
And I feel like older people are kind of like, oh, that was fine. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, no. You can't talk to me like that.
Exactly.
The wrong one.
That's right. And you have the skills to leverage to truly back up what it is that you're saying that you want.
Yeah. You know, just don't come at me crazy.
Right.
You know, but I'll still tell you in a professional way. Because one lady, she was not cool.
Yeah.
what she did to me on the last job was not cool.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't appreciate you saying that to me because you're having a bad day. And she just looked stupid. And I could have yelled at her. I really could have yelled at her because what she said was really disrespectful.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I don't appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
Don't say that to me again.
That is a story that I can relate to because I had a gentleman in his 80s just start dogging on me in front of the volunteer organization that I'm the president of.
Oh my God.
And I said, like, insert person's name. And I was just like, I don't appreciate the way that you are speaking to me. And I think that it's uncalled for.
Yeah.
That was so much better than, like, you know, going off or anything that could have been done
Yeah,
to,
because
like,
they're just like, oh.
yeah. And then they're also like, oh, they're right.
Yeah.
That was unnecessary,
Yeah.
unneeded, and inappropriate.
And also, I mean, I was helping her. I've been, like, covering for her.
Yeah.
I was going above and beyond where someone else would just been like, you're on your own.
Yep.
And, like, you talk to me like that.
Yes.
No.
Exactly.
So I said, you're on your own now.
Yeah.
I told everyone what you said. And it was just, like, turned to a huge deal. Because
Yeah.
it was. Don't do that.
Yes. There is such a need for the experiences that we go through as young professionals
Yeah.
to be shared amongst other young professionals.
Yeah.
We're competent, we're capable, and quite frankly, we don't like inefficiencies. And we
No.
don't like, for reasons that to us are obvious, as far as why are we doing something that we don't need to be doing? Or why is it done this way if it doesn't need to be?
I know. And I'm still, like, I find, like, I have to balance it between, you know, if I see someone doing something wrong, it's just, like, driving me crazy.
Yes.
You know, I try to think later, like, how I could talk to that person and not, you know, make them feel like they're doing it wrong.
Yes.
And also, I mean, I'm still learning.
Yes.
Like, I'm open to learn.
Yes.
Like, my boss has taught me a lot of stuff since I've, like, just been out of town. And I thought I knew a lot. And
Yeah.
he's really showed me a lot of things. But I'm not afraid to learn from people. People learn from me, too.
100%.
And that's what life's about.
Yes. Remain a student of the business. Remain open to new ideas.
Yeah.
But like you said, we don't know everything. But there seems to be this way that, for some reason, makes it difficult to have difficult conversations without them being ending with in a positive way.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not that they're doing something like super wrong, but it's like, let me show you a way in which you can make things easier for
Yeah.
yourself.
I know. Like, this one lady was, well, the same lady who said that thing to me, which was not cool.
Yeah.
She was real old school, but hasn't been doing this for this long, but, like, old school. So we have, like, tags
Yes.
that we put on the clothes,
Yeah.
on the garment bags, and that tells us, like, what scene and what day, you know, like night 13, scene, whatever.
Yeah.
It's, like, really detailed like that.
Yeah.
And we have an app, which could be scary to some people, but I'm also in charge of this app, making sure all the pictures are in there.
Yeah.
I log all the clothes.
Interesting.
Like your T-shirt, I'd be like, it's, you know, Brooks Brothers.
Yep. Literally.
And I'll put, like, what size, and,
Yeah.
you know, I'll log everything in there. So she was, like, handwriting tags. She'd come in, she was handwriting them.
Yeah.
And I would, you know, when she'd leave, I'd look at them, I'm like, why is she handwriting them when it has to go in the app?
Yeah.
You know, because that was the old school way before we had sync on set. So I had to tell, like, you know, just, like, plug in the clothes per the scene. Like, we don't want the writing tags anymore.
Right.
And she's like, okay. So then she started taking pictures and just taking pictures, not writing it's from Brooks Brothers, just taking pictures and just throwing it in there, and wrote, like, it was a mess.
Yeah.
And I just said, you know what, I'm just going to do this because I don't want to talk to you again about it because it's still wrong.
Yes, but like that you shouldn't need to put that on your shoulders at that point.
Yeah.
Delegation is so hard.
It's so hard. It's hard for me. I'm a micro
Yes.
manager. So I just hate to explain things repeatedly, because now I'm like, okay, I'll just do it myself.
Yes. And you don't need to be doing anything more than what you're already doing at some points.
I wish that was the case.
I know. You're just like, all right, I'll take it on. All right, I'll take it on.
Because even with the people that help me, I'm still like,
Yeah.
doing things.
God.
Can't help myself.
Like I said, and this has been a theme of this episode, is what it constantly comes back to is your drive to continue to pursue the passions that you have.
Yeah.
And you are going to be the one in control of your own destiny that's going to allow you to eventually get to either a point in which you're at where you want to be, or what's more rewarding is acknowledge that you're at that place that you want to be and have the opportunity to set an additional goal that you, your mom, dad, grandparents can all achieve together, because you're all working on this same exact goal of yours.
Be like a huge corporation.
Yeah.
Or maybe a brand will come and buy my brand. I would love that. Be like an umbrella.
Yeah. I think that's where it's at, to be bought out by something.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how do you ensure that you keep your creative ability?
I would just like to work for a brand, I think, too.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that a lot lately.
Interesting.
Go work at there's this one brand I really like, and I'm like, I would love to work with them.
Yeah.
To experience that side of it, because I really haven't. Just I have more movie experience and just from me running my own stuff, but it'd be interesting to work for a brand so I could learn how I could do things better.
Yeah. Because how long have you been doing mixed?
It's 4 years old, probably.
Okay. Doing high school for 4 years, doing college for 4 years, and then doing what I'm doing professionally for 4 years already. And now we're transitioning that 5th year, and it's super interesting to think about what's next.
Yeah.
And
the next 10 years?
Yes, exactly. Because it's I love what I do professionally, and I'll do what I do professionally until I literally retire. Okay. Yeah. And that's why I'm excited that there are other ways in which we can experience something different. I need to find a girlfriend. I know that that's what I need to do, because I'm getting bored.
I know, me too. My mom actually is trying to set me up with this matchmaker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been rough.
Yeah.
It's been rough.
With the matchmaker or dating in general?
With it, yeah.
Do you want to know about these matchmakers? They're not the people to date, allegedly. I'm not. All I got to say is your boy was ghosted by a matchmaker.
Are you serious?
And a dating coach. Yes.
Oh, probably because she found well, you didn't do this. You didn't do that.
She was also 14 years older than me. I didn't know that, though.
14 years old. So what, 30 something?
40.
40?
I think so, yeah.
I feel like that's the cutoff for me.
So I didn't know. So me and my buddies were at the Around the Corner bar out in Lakewood. Okay. And there was this girl at the bar, and I was like, damn, she's pretty cute, So I asked her out, and we talk about going to the farmer's market out in Crocker Park.
Cute.
We meet there, and we went on a date, and it was super fun.
Okay.
And this is a whole story in and amongst itself, but I looked her up on Facebook the day before, and and there's nothing wrong with this, but I found out that she was engaged literally less than a year ago.
Recently.
Yes. And then we went into Bath and Body Works, and one of the and we're there with her 2 dogs. And
you got the dogs and everything?
We got the dogs. Well, and that's what I told her. I'm just like, you have 2 beautiful dogs. Bring them to the farmer's market. I need to meet these dogs.
Yeah.
So we go into the Bed Bath & Beyond, and I have one of the dogs in my hand, and then she has the other, or at leash, And she goes ahead and says, or one of the people says, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you since you got your engagement photos done.
Oh.
I was like.
I die.
I was like, does she not know how to read the room? Does she think that I am the fiance?
Oh my God.
Like I said, I've got the dog that she's petting in my hand with the leash.
In the store?
In the store. Yeah, because Crocker Park's super like dog friendly.
It's like a lot of things going on here.
There was so much going on.
That's so what'd she say?
She said, oh yeah, like that didn't work out. And because this was our first date and it was like just, a casual, just like hanging out, we weren't like, grilling each other with questions.
Yeah, no.
So, I mean, granted, I think we found out enough about each other to realize that it wasn't going to work out. But also, I'm just like, you're a registered dating coach and a matchmaker, and you're not even gonna give me the decency to like say, hey, we're in two different places in our lives. Romantically, I don't think that this is gonna work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, at what point do you give that closure? You know what I'm saying? Like, after a period of time, do you owe people that?
Well, get this. She literally, we say our goodbyes, and we start walking away. 3 seconds later, I get a text from her. Met a new friend at the bar last night and met him at the farmer's market this morning.
Why did she tell you that?
Instantaneously, she sent me another text and says,
that
oops,
wasn't for you.
She said, oops, meant to send that to my girlfriends.
Well, I've been butt dialed, and he was talking about breaking up with me.
No.
Yeah.
No.
When he wanted to be my boyfriend, I didn't want one.
What?
And he was just, because I was like going out of town.
Yeah.
So he was just like, I really think we should be official before you leave. And I'm like, okay. All right. So I was like, sure, take a shot.
Yeah.
No.
What?
But like, he wanted to break up with me because he like wears suits.
Yeah.
Seemed like he was super put together.
Yeah.
And it was just a lot of lies and like cracks. And, I'm not a dummy. So once I started to see stuff, I just started asking certain questions.
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing this? If you're supposed to be trying to be a doctor, which I don't think is happening.
Yeah.
It was just all over the place. But I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone. Like, I'm not all in it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like, what are you doing? So, I was on to him for being a sham.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he convinced me to go out. I didn't want to. So I said, well, he's like, well, if you feel like coming. And I said, well, if you want me to come, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll pick you up. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm going.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he butt dialed me. And it was the day before Thanksgiving. So me and my mom were, like, cooking and everything. And,
So what did you do? Pick up, realize there was a butt dial, put it on speaker?
Yeah. It was like, hello, hello. And my mom's like, stop.
Yes.
But she's like, stop. And then he was like, I was trying to think about how to break up with her today for like 3 hours at work. And then he's like, and, she gave me an out for tonight. He was like with his friends. Yeah. He's like, she gave me an out for tonight and I didn't take it. I should have taken it. And I was like, what? Yeah. First of all, I'm not the kind of girl, like, if you want to break up, I'm not going to be devastated. Right. We're going to do it. So don't make it seem like you're doing me a favor.
Right.
By, you just didn't know how. Yeah. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
So then he called me back.
Yeah, what was his tone? Oh, it clicked like it hung up?
Yeah. And because they were drinking and stuff, which you're going to come and get me. That's another thing. And then, yeah, I was like, he's like, I'm on my way. Mm-hmm. I said, you're on your way to get who?
Yeah. Not me.
He's like, I'm coming to get you. That's what I said. I said, okay. So what'd you do at work? What were you thinking about today? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, you didn't want to break up with me? And, you had it out for tonight and you didn't take it?
Oh.
And he was just like, listen, I can't be your boyfriend. I'm like, do I ask you for anything? Yeah. I don't ask you for nothing.
Right.
Don't flatter yourself.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to hang out? You want to go to the movies? That's it.
Right.
I'm not like, I need you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was really crazy.
Yeah.
And shocking.
Yeah.
Because I never heard him, like, speak like that before.
Yeah.
And I just feel like with all the other stuff I saw that he was doing that was really shady, I was just like, I don't know who I've been talking to.
Right.
And it's kind of creepy.
Yes. It was a different person.
Yeah, like, completely. But the sad thing was, like, you were going to, like, pick me up with your friends that you just talked about that with. Yeah. And they all knew. Like, why are you doing that to me?
Yeah.
Like, I've never been mean to you. I've never gotten in your business. Why were you going to try to embarrass me like that? It was just like, why?
Right. People are weird.
Yeah, so I was like, cool. Like, okay, I'm cool on this.
Dating is messed up.
I know. And I just feel like it's a lot of like situationships lately.
Yes.
That you get caught up in.
Yeah.
And it's like this gray area.
I know. Let's go back to like middle school where it was like, do you want to go out with me? Like literally equivalent to like, let's get married. And then like, what was there a, and then it was literally like people were more forward in like 5th and 6th grade than they are now. Then it was, do you want to go out with me?
I know.
And then it was, I'm breaking up with you.
And that was it.
Now there's like, you know, texting, talking,
like the
exclusive,
apps too.
Yeah, dating, and then it's or like situationship before it's actually dating.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've even got a few buddies that have been like dating their significant other for like years. And I'm like, why haven't you proposed?
I know.
I mean, that's just me personally.
Right.
I mean, everyone has their own things, but I'm just like, if I found a girl that I was looking to spend the rest of my life with, I would love the idea of getting married as soon as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like people have this weird like commitment thing. Like even the bare minimum commitment stuff. Like your life's not going to be over. If you decide to be a boyfriend, your life's probably going to get much better. And if you don't like it, then just it's not going to be hard to get out of.
Yeah.
But it just seems like guys lately, I don't know, they're just real. They want to stay in this gray area for a long time.
Yes. And it's like they won't propose, but they'll buy a house with them.
Yeah. All this backwards stuff. Like I would never.
Yeah, they won't propose, but they'll have a child together.
They'll get a dog together.
All this other
stuff.
And I'm like, you're doing the things that are actually like, quite frankly, more permanent than the thing that you're not doing that can just be taken back.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Neither do I.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, just have to stay hopeful.
Yeah.
I'm about to fire this matchmaker because the people they set me up with, oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nothing in common. Nothing.
Yeah.
Try to tell them anything about my life. Some people just can't comprehend it.
No.
Like, what do you do for movies again? You do what? And, it gets to be too much. And they're like, you have a brand too? Well, what do you sell? And I show them. Yeah. And they're just like, oh. And they have nothing to say.
Literally.
One dude was like, cool. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I know exactly what you mean. I'm
like, all right.
Well, let's wrap it up with this. I wanted to ask you, we've talked about a lot. We've talked about dating. We've talked about brand. We've talked about film. We've talked about trashy reality TV. But I wanted to ask, what makes Jada Taylor smile?
Well, I crack myself up a lot. I just did it just now. Like I'll say something and I'll laugh at it if no one else does. But yeah, I mean, I make myself smile.
Yeah.
Like what makes me smile? Like my family, I like working out. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
And my brand, like when customers send me photos and stuff of them actually wearing it in the world, that's really exciting too. So that makes me 100%. Happy. And, I'm easily flattered. So whenever it says, something to me like, I like I always have the best shoes and everything. And, that makes me happy too. Yeah. Compliments.
100%.
And at work, like when I do something, like when something's really complicated, and people are like, wow, you did that. Good job. Yeah. That makes me happy, too.
Like, damn straight.
And that's kind of it.
Yeah. This was nothing against my other guests, but, like, this was easily my most favorite one to record. You're such a fun person.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay. So what makes you smile?
What makes me smile?
Mm-hmm.
What makes me smile is having the ability to make other people smile. I just think back to this one time in which I walked into a room and someone said, Jacob, you're always so happy.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me happy. And if I can, light up someone's world, that then is going to have an additional impact on the other people that they talk to.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is what makes me smile, because it's not even something that I'm actively trying to do. It's just something that's being done.
I feel like I'm the same way too.
Yeah.
Cool.
If they wanted to follow Mixed, follow what you have going on, where do you point them towards?
You go follow us on Instagram. It's MIXD. There's no E in it. So don't get that confused.
True.
It's MIXD Fashion. Also, we have YouTube. I've been posting the shorts. It's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Shorts. And I mean TikTok, but mostly just follow us on Instagram. And we have a website. Same thing.
Oh, very nice. What's the website?
Mixed Fashion. MIXD Fashion.
Awesome. I almost wish that you didn't do as much traveling as you did, because if you also had as great of a time as I did with this, I could we could just talk about pop culture stuff and just random stuff and just keep on going on and on.
I am open right now.
Yeah.
I am open right now.
Well, maybe what we'll need to do is record a bunch of episodes, and then for times in which maybe bonus episodes, because I release an episode every 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'd love that.
So maybe we can
talk about pop culture.
Yes.
That's my language.
Yes, that's what I like talking about.
I love that stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe.
No, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Okay.
We'll get you in here again.
I'm so excited.
Thank you so much for coming on today.
What an impressive experience.
Thank you. You hear that? Do you hear that? For anyone that wants to come, I haven't talked to Jada in literally 8 years, and I reached out and I said, "You're amazing."
How'd you find me?
Mixed. Instagram. I DM'd you.
Yeah, but how'd you find it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, sometimes I post on Facebook, so I don't know. I share stuff to my Facebook page.
That's what it was. I think we're friends on Facebook, and I saw that, and I said, okay, well, you've got to have an Instagram as well. So that's what I looked up. Yeah.
All right, crack the case.
There we go. Thank you.
Thank you.